Hello everyone, welcome to Miscellaneous Monthly Part 7. My name is Tim, and today we're going to be watching something very special. We're going to be watching a pilot episode to a failed religious cartoon called Dorbees, and it was made by Benji Gaither, who is the son of one of the Gaithers, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, the Gaithers are a gospel music group who have actually won 2 Grammys, believe it or not. This animation that we're going to be watching today was made by the son of one of the members, and yeah, other than that, I think this is going to be a pretty cool project, and in all honesty, this was made 26 years ago, so I'm not expecting anything ridiculously high budget. I'm not expecting Avatar Way of Water or one of those movies with ridiculously good animation. No, I'm not expecting that. I'm expecting something relatively low budget, and that's okay. I'm just here for what is in here, and I want to talk about it with you guys, because it needs to be seen to be believed.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
I see. Genesis 1 verse 1. We're off to a nice start.
All that is seen and unseen. And in the panorama that is the unseen, beyond the secret world of the insect, beyond the atoms that form the grass they hide behind, in the infinitesimal pantheon that turns beneath our feet and beats with hearts anew, live the Dorbees.
And here it is, the moment we've been waiting for. Yay!
Dorbees. Everywhere I look, I see Dorbees.
Now, this right here is just a quick little sneak peek of what we're going to be watching. So they're saying, Dorbees, why don't they go away? Even though they themselves are Dorbees. Are they like some self-loathing civilization or something like that? They cannot be serious. Also, something I'm going to say about this, all these clips do show up in the episode somewhere. And let me tell you something, I'm excited. And also, look at that! Look! Oh my, this is gonna be so awesome. Let's see. Nice! Made in 1998. And now, right here, we are going to talk to our first character, known as Delta. And also, in the beginning, it said that the characters be smaller than atoms or something like that. So yeah, I'm gonna try and figure out names for them. Nicknames. Also, before we talk to the guy on the porch, I just want to say he's bad at guitar.
How y'all doing? Now, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Old Delta Dorby.
Hi Delta, my name is Tim, and overall I'm doing pretty good. I hope you're doing good, and I hope your guitar playing skills improve, because they weren't the best, and yeah, I'm not trying to be mean with that, but you should really listen to some Dream Theater or Winter Sun or Dragon Force or some good guitar music and all that. Maybe you'll be able to play just as good as them someday.
And most people around here call me Delta. But you can call me Delta. Yeah, I've been living here in Dorby Town for now going on 72 years.
Okay, it's time to do some math right here. This was released 26 years ago, and Delta said he's 72 years old. That means, assuming his birthday is September 8th, which is the day that Dorbees was released, and assuming that this video takes place in 1998, that would mean that today, Delta is 98 years old, which is pretty neat.
And I guess I've been playing this guitar for about 63 of those years.
Don't worry, Delta. You might not be the best guitar player, even though you've been playing for 63 years, but maybe in the next 63 years, you'll be even better. You know, when you're 135 years old.
Hey, Delta! Hey, man, come over here. You never guessed what I found the other day when I was rummaging through
We found a character so crazy that even Delta is shocked at what they're saying. And in all honesty, this character is kind of crazy, and also this character has no respects for the laws of physics whatsoever. You'll see that later.
Hey, man, what you think, man? This thing's almost brand new. I saw him down there at the general store for 59 cents. But like, I got this free. Man. You know what?
I'm more surprised at the fact that that character might have been able to buy a pair of sunglasses for 59 cents in 1998. Back then, one of these cheap spider rings right here would probably cost about the same, which they probably do still today.
I tell you what, now y'all, that was Fleck. Now, he's always around here someplace, and he is crazy.
This right here is Fleck. According to Delta, he's crazy, and let me tell you something about him. I'm gonna call him Higgs boson, because according to this elementary particle chart, he looks like one. And also, in the beginning of the episode, if you remember hearing, they said a world beyond the atom, which I'm going to assume means that the Dorbees takes place in a subatomic universe. So, for all we know, Fleck might in fact be a Higgs boson, which is actually super impressive when you realize the Higgs boson wasn't even discovered until 2012. So that means Benji Gaither discovered the Higgs boson 14 years before CERN. For that one thing alone, I think that he deserves an Oscar for this, and a Nobel Prize. You know what? Just give him an EGOT.
Together we've seen them come and go. Now times have changed a lot here in Dorby Town, but I tell you what it seems. You know, life in general always come back to making decisions. And not just any decisions, mind you. The right decision, the one the good Lord wants you to make.
Some of you might be wondering what the Christianity counter means. Well, it turns out it means just the number of times they mention anything that has to do with Christianity, because this is technically a religious cartoon.
Now, for instance, take my little ball friends, Jack and Mary Jane Dorby. Now, see, Jack, that boy is a character. Yes, sir, he's at school, but see, he really don't want to be there. No, you know, that old school reminds me of a little music place that used to be right there on that spot. Now, that was a few days ago, 1952 days.
Okay, I was just awakened from my silent slumber, and something I want to clarify is this. He just said a few days ago in 1952. Does that mean that he is a time traveler? For all we know, maybe he's the Dorby universe's equivalent of Doctor Who. And also, we're now in a classroom right now, and you're about to hear some of the dumbest stuff ever.
As you can see, the isolation of the parallelogram is concurrent to the vertical side of the polygon. Now, what is exciting about this is that they both are related side according to MacGyver's theorem of gumstick tubing.
Okay, I just looked that up and I found out that is not a real thing. It doesn't exist.
But what's really exciting about this is the fact that the sum of the total of all sides is 90 degrees.
First off, that is completely wrong. The sides of a triangle do not have degrees. The angles do. And also, you drew a right triangle right there. The right angle is 90 degrees, but all the sides do not add up to 90 degrees. They add up to 180. I took a class in basic trigonometry, so I know this. Meanwhile, I have no idea where this guy got his teaching credentials from, because they were definitely forged.
I'm busting out. Follow my lead if you want to get out of here.
Excuse me, Mr. Waddleworth, but I'm not feeling too good. I think those Jello Pops at lunch were bad. Could I go to the nurse, please?
Yeah, me too, Mr. Waterworth. I had the Jello too.
Okay, children, but hurry back because we're going to start chapter 13, and you know what that means. Dissecting congruent triangles.
Now, I looked that particular thing up just in case, and I found out it is a real thing, but it's something that you most likely learn in high school, and, yeah, they did not sound like high school students if you heard the background laughter.
Derby. Jack Derby. Follow me.
Code red. Code red. Escape attempt detected. Complete lockdown.
Okay, I have a serious question. Is this a school, or is this the New York Federal Reserve? Because seriously, a school does not need that level of security. This is like... Oh, Yeah, that right there, I'm timing the fall, just so you can get an idea of just how broken the gravity is in this, and just how little regard for physics the Dorbees have. This is unacceptable. This is insane. Jack was falling for 11.5 seconds, which coincidentally is almost enough to reach terminal velocity in Earth's gravity. In fact, I had a calculator and looked it up, Omni calculator. I'm not sure how accurate it is, but according to that, Jack fell about 2,200 feet. Yeah, 2,200 feet in that pit, and that pit looked like it was no more than 30 feet deep at most. And this is utterly insane. Just the fact that the school has so many weapons and is just... you have tennis ball launchers? Like, what's next? So seriously, what is next? I am... Oh, you're an Indiana Jones style boulder. Nice. This is truly incredible, and I like how it just follows them. I bet you there's probably, like, motors inside that ball. It's like one of those hamster balls, and the ball can, like, detect people and stuff like that. I don't know. It's magic like that, and it's insane, the fact that there's this much stuff in here. Oh, yeah. And then there's, like, a 30-ton door falling down, and yeah. Then they escape, and Jack does something really disgusting, turns into a ball, and literally rolls away. He's on a roll, and I cannot believe that. Anyway, change the channel. Nice. Now we're back to Delta.
I hate to see them skip school. Yep, that always leads to trouble. And speaking of trouble, this is a young Dorby right here about to find some. Now, his name is Otto, and he just came in from across the big pond. Not being from around here, he's gonna need him some new clothes. Now,
Delta, just because someone comes from a different part of the world doesn't mean they need new clothes. And also, I would not consider what Otto is wearing to be normal clothes by any capacity in any culture. It looks like a Speedo with the straps of suspenders, and that's it. It looks horrible in any culture, in any capacity. So yeah, we are going to just go and see what Otto is doing, because he's probably going to get up to some shenanigans.
every blues man knows when you need duds, you go down to Diggs. But not being a man of the blues, I don't know if Diggs is going to be the right choice for Otto. You know, I remember we had a drummer, his name was...
So this story that he's talking about, I remember hearing about in the Mysterious Mr. Enters review of Dorbees, which I watched a few years back, and I thought that he was making a joke about this being a part of the story about Delta's insane ramblings. No, it's an actual part of the episode, and it's kind of crazy. Now we're on a boat right now, an old Mayflower-style boat, and yeah, this is Otto, and okay, we got a train right there, just going into nowhere. Nice.
I must find a closet here, to find some regular American clothes, so that I might fit in better with the common folk.
Otto, my man, you're wearing a fashion tragedy right now. There is no way you can look discreet in a crowd. The reason why you can never look discreet is because you're like twice as tall as everyone else. That would be like an elephant hiding in a crowd of horses. That's literally impossible. You cannot be discreet. And also, why on earth are those cars going so unbelievably fast? Those cars look like they're going a few thousand miles per hour, which is utterly insane. That right there is the most "Ferb, I know what we're gonna do today" expression. And now we're going off to Diggs Duds. It's a pretty cool looking store. It's tiny, looks like it's family run and operated. That's pretty nice. He's supporting a small business and not a giant conglomerate. Pretty awesome. And once we're inside the store, I can tell you this looks like a lot of those like boardwalk shops that you'd see in Florida, particularly at John's Pass near Tampa. And there's some guitars on the wall, pretty nice. Otto does look kind of confused because the doors just closed behind him on their own. Pretty scary. And now, here's the shop owner, Diggs himself. And, okay, yeah, this guy, he looks like he has some good fashion statements. The suit he's wearing is pretty cool. Also, I did not add this effect into here. This was there as I found it.
Surf's up and I'm riding the big boy.
I like how there's just a cartoon sound effect whenever Diggs gets out of his chair. I think that's pretty neat. And also, as you can see, Diggs' assistant is just doing gymnastics in the background, and we're gonna listen to what Diggs has to say.
Dig Esquire, and this is my assistant, the soft-spoken Norm.
You darn tootin'.
Tell me, what can I put a hip brother as yourself in today?
So if you listen to what Dig just said, he basically called Otto a head brother, but that's probably because Otto's entire body is a giant oblong head.
Thank you. I am Otto. I am looking for some clothes that will make me more discreet, and then I can fit in better with the common folk.
Well, look no more. You came to the right store. Shoot.
Norm, we are having a conversation with Diggs. Clothing is a very serious thing that's very meticulous. You cannot be doing gymnastics while we're talking about clothing.
All the cats shop here, don't you know that?
You're darn tootin'.
So this is our first song in this, and believe it or not, there are multiple songs, and let me tell you something, if you hear me singing along, that's just because I kind of like the music in this, because this thing might have some pretty cheap looking animation, but the people who made this definitely know how to write a song for a children's cartoon. Pretty cool.
But you gotta remember my name. You go to
Diggs Duds. Diggs Duds. You go to Diggs for your duds. Yeah, I don't know the lyrics to this song. I'm just singing along because it's catchy and the beat is pretty cool. Yeah, yeah. The logo sticking through the wall. Yeah, there's some jeans on the wall. Yeah, yeah. Otto's wearing glasses, yeah, yeah. Norm is being weird, yeah, yeah. Diggs just threw a hat, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. The lights are going crazy, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna stop singing, yeah, yeah.
You know the dig. Come on. Your life is full of choices, baby. You go to Diggs. When it comes to shopping, you know you're cold cocking at DIG''S.
That was a pretty good song, but now we're going to be changing the channel back to Mary Jane and Jack. And this time, we're in the middle of nowhere. Particularly, it's probably in the morning due to it being super foggy outside, and yeah. Also, here they are, our two beloved characters.
Look at that, Mary Jane. It's old man Redder's house. You know how Billy Jink and Dorby, he said that he went there like 2 years ago, and he said that he went in there to get his ball, but come to find out, he really didn't go in there, and then his mom made him eat soap because he wasn't telling the truth, but he said he went in there and saw like monsters and rabbits, but he really didn't like go in there, and
Hey, for some reason, Jack reminds me of me whenever I'm just rambling about stuff because I'm either bored or tired. Yeah, whenever I'm bored or tired, I just ramble about stuff, and where did Jack get a Roman-era pillar from? But yeah, I'm pretty inspired by what Jack has to say. It's pretty important that he's saying stuff, and also, yeah, there is no audio right here, unfortunately, and Mary just has to respond, saying something that Jack is gonna ignore, and let's see, oh, that was awesome, he just did a 360 backflip off the pillar. That is awesome.
Dangerous and we might get hurt. And the Bible says that we should honor our mom and dad.
That is the third time they've mentioned anything that has to do with Christianity in this religious cartoon.
Yeah, well, I know, Mary Jane, but it's not gonna matter because everybody's gonna be so jazzed about what we found in there that nobody's gonna remember that we disobeyed our parents.
And here it is, our second song, arguably the best one in the entire show.
Come on, Mary Jane. I mean, live a little. What do we got to lose anyway?
I don't know, Jack. That house still scares me.
Come on. You know, we're 8 years old.
Jack, you're 8 years old. Why are you learning trigonometry in school? Seriously, why?
What do we got to show for it? No credit cards, no beard.
No car.
Well, at least not yet. And look at that old house. About ready to fall apart. Seems like a good place to start. No Dorbees ever been this far. What we need is a running start to show that we're not kids. Something inside that scary old house might be our ticket in.
I wanna be grown up. I ain't a kid no more. I was when I was 4, but that was long ago.
I wanna be grown up. No school, no arithmetic. That stuff just makes me sick.
Jack, I agree with you. Arithmetic sometimes makes me feel sick, but you're going to be throwing up when you realize there's something called Boolean algebra. It's something that involves circuits and all that, and Boolean algebra is basically algebra, but so much worse. It may not have as many variables, but there are so many rules you have to follow when doing it. There's so many conditions. There's another thing called De Morgan's theorem, which is related to it. And look at these two little things. These lines above the letters are knots, but in De Morgan's theorem, they're connected. There's this thing called cut the line, change the sign. You have to remember that when doing that, and it can get really, really complicated. Here's an example of some actual Boolean algebra. Yeah, it's disgusting, and you're going to be wishing you were a kid when you have to do this someday, assuming you're going into engineering. And that's not even getting into K-maps, truth tables, NAND and NOR logic. That's not even getting into those things, and those are disasters in their own.
My mom, she made me wear a dress.
Ooh.
I was Auntie Myrtle's flower girl, and what a mess.
Wow, what happened?
Walking down the aisle, tripped over Uncle Howard's boot, and then my dress went woo, and everybody laughed and said, "Oh, how cute!" Remember, yes, ma'am, and thank you, please, and curtsy on your way out.
I think that's just manners. Like, do you not want to have manners? Is that what being an adult is about for you? Because the curtsy, yeah, I think that's a little too formal for regular occasions. But I think that saying, yes, ma'am, thank you, and please are just good manners. And that's something you should definitely keep in mind if you want people to look at you fondly.
What I need is a little freedom to see what life's about. I want to be grown up.
I like how there's just a giant studio camera floating in midair.
Yeah, you got it.
No curlers, no hair barrettes. Doesn't matter if I get wet.
Mary Jane, if you get wet, you're not gonna die. You're not gonna melt like the Wicked Witch of the West. You're not gonna explode like solid sodium when it gets wet. You're gonna be perfectly fine. You're a Dorby.
'Cause now I'm on my own. I wanna be grown up and put away all my dolls. I'm just a ball.
That has got to be one of my favorite lines in this entire cartoon. I'm just a ball. That is wonderful.
Who wants to be grown up?
I wanna be grown up. And I ain't a kid no more. I was when I was 4. But that was long ago. I wanna be grown up. It's all for one and one for all. We're just balls.
Two things. That's probably my new favorite line. And we're nuts. That is a store in Georgia that sells nuts and pecans and all that. It's a pretty cool place.
Wanna be grown up.
And now I think it's safe to say we found out where most of the budget for this went. They hired not one, but probably 2 helicopters because those angles are pretty hard to get, and they're singing Sunflowers. That is so awesome. Oh my. They all want to be grown up. I love the trumpeting squirrels. It's incredible. And at the end of the song, I have a little fun fact for you. Something you probably did not know. And it's something that will definitely surprise you, especially if you like low-budget, straight to DVD movies. And also, I looked into it, the Roman numerals are technically wrong. Speaking of that fun fact about Jack, he's voiced by Benji Gaither, who voiced in 3 separate projects, Gaither's Pond being one of them, and oddly enough, Hoodwinked 1 and 2. And if you're wondering who he voices in Hoodwinked 1 and 2, he voices the goat that plays the banjo who nearly gets killed every single time. Yeah, these 2 characters are the same voice actor. It's absolutely insane, and I love it.
Yeah, my man. Now we're getting somewhere. Let's check this out.
We cut back to Dig's Duds in order to see what outfits Otto is wearing, and yeah, they do not look good at all. That looks terrible, that looks terrible, that looks weird, that is even weirder, that is not exactly good, that's a spacesuit, nice. He's Top Hat Man, he's Batman, he's a construction worker, a movie star, Julius Caesar, Joseph from the Bible, a vampire, Elvis, Uncle Sam. This dude cosplays as pretty much everyone, and that's insane. Now we're gonna change the channel one time more to none other than
Dorby German Access Television presents Mr. Poe und Jogel.
Who's the strongest Dorby in the world, who's loved by every boy und girl und Jack? It's Mr. Poe und Jogel, who makes his living fighting crime and carries bags of flapjacks on his back. It's Mr. Poe und Jogel. He is very, 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 very nice.
I highly doubt that, because he does something in the short that very much contradicts that whole statement. He does something that is quite the opposite of nice.
It's Mr. Poe und Jogel.
Last time we saw a crime-destroying duo in the clutches of their evil nemesis, Dr. Derry. Now Dr. Derry has captured Mr. Poe's trusty assistant Yogel and strapped him to his evil stretch machine.
You saw what the machine looks like. It looks like the stereotypical depiction of an atom. That totally confirms my theory of this taking place in a subatomic world. The cow is subatomic, Yogel is subatomic, Mr. Poe is subatomic. It's just a confirmation of my theory. A film theory!
Dr. Derry, you'll be sorry when Mr. Poe gets here. He is a crime fighter, you know.
Oh, he will never find you this time. You see, my pasture is secured by electrical fencing and reinforced by ill-tempered chickens.
Oh, Mr. Poe! Mr. Poe! Where are you?
I have a new theory. Dorbees are part of the Minions' evolutionary step. This is because they can get squished, they can get stretched and all that. The Dorbees are able to, like, contort into all sorts of weird shapes, and I've seen all the Despicable Me and Minions movies to know that the Minions are basically indestructible. The Dorbees aren't, so yeah, let's just say the Dorbees are a step before the Minions. They're kind of like how dinosaurs eventually evolved into birds, with Dorbees being the dinosaurs and Minions being the birds.
Rats, how did you get through my electrical fencing?
Wire cutters, Derry!
And my chickens?
They just needed to be loved.
Oh, well, I can understand that. I guess a hug is nice. It's somewhat refreshing. Well, Mr. Poe, you are late as usual. And as you can see, your friend has already been placed on my EMAC diabolical algorithmic integral polar seismic particle assimilating discombobulating anti-pontificating Dorby undulating Lewinscanating self-extracting self-adjusting self-cleaning rubberizing elongating short grip stretch machine 2000 with dualismic unregistered shareware version 2.0 beta.
Okay, that was an utterly insane name, but by any chance, does anyone remember that one episode of Top Gear in which the Porsche Boxster Targa or convertible or whatever it is comes out and Hammond mentions the transmission and has to spell it out and the name is like comically long? And if you're wondering this is what the name's spelled out to be, I don't even know how to begin to pronounce this thing, but yeah, that's what that machine name reminds me of. It's utterly insane.
I am quite uncomfortable. Hang in there, Yogel. Put yourself in a happy place.
So what is going on right now is that Mr. Poe has to save Yogel, and Dr. Derry is laughing on the ground still from that ridiculous machine name and this evil plan. Mr. Poe's just throwing objects around, he can't fit through the bars, and we're gonna hear some of Yogel singing.
Hang on till tomorrow. Oh, it's too short. Keep singing. Tomorrow, tomorrow, I love ya. Tomorrow, you're only a day. Ah! not quite long enough. Oh well, if at first you don't succeed.
Dr. Dairy is going to actually try to stop Mr. Poe, and in all honesty, Dr. Dairy should get some better security. And
No, can't touch this. Oh, no, can't touch that. Have a time. Nah.
what, did Mr. Poe just pull a Z out of his pocket? That is utterly insane. And also, I cannot believe it. Oh, he's pulling a speaker out, a chair. Like, seriously, what kind does this dude have a black hole in his pocket that holds all this stuff? After all, most of this stuff is so heavy that, he just pulls a boxcar out of his pocket. That's just a totally reasonable thing for any superhero to carry around. And also, most of those objects are so heavy that if this were a subatomic world, all their Schwarzschild radiuses would be too big to exist at that scale, and all of them would just collapse inwards into black holes, assuming they're the same mass. And now Mr. Poe is at some electrical box, and there are 3 buttons behind it. There's push for world peace, there's push to end world hunger, and last but not least, push to free poor Yogel from the dreaded apparatus. And being a superhero, he pushes the least important of the buttons. I think that solving world peace and ending world hunger would be more important than freeing Yogel. Like, just let Yogel die in the apparatus if those are your other 2 options. It doesn't say if he could push all 3 of them. And also, letting one person die for the prosperity of the entire world and saving billions of lives in the process would be the most heroic option. And Mr. Poe, that was not very nice.
Come, Yogel, let us seize the opportunity and flee.
Okay, why does Mr. Poe and Yogel's escape music sound like why does it sound like a King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard drum solo? That's absolutely insane, and oh no, they get stopped by Mr. Dairy! Or I mean Dr. Dairy, not a mister, they have a doctor's degree.
Well, the machine, What did I name it?
Mr. Poe, what can we do? We are finished. Don't worry, Yogel. There is always one thing that can stop a cow cold in his tracks.
That's right, vehicular manslaughter!
No!
Or, in this case, vehicular bovine slaughter.
Beautiful light. Quick, Yogel! I can't hold it forever! Tip him!
And so, Mr. Poe and Yogel, instead of doing their actual job by solving world peace and ending world hunger, they instead tip an innocent cow who's just misunderstood. And now, here's a testimony.
I hate to be tipped.
You wouldn't be saying that if you were working at a fast food establishment. Also, that guy needs to stop eating so much chips. Anyway, we're back at Diggs Duds, and here's some of the physics breaking right now that I mentioned way back in the beginning about Dorbees, and oh my, there's gonna be something insane coming out of there. I could tell. It's unstable, and oh, it's Fleck. Oh, Fleck is abusing quantum entanglement, which, contrary to what some people might think, is a real thing. And that is absolutely insane. Imagine having that guy teleport into your store out of nowhere. Oh my, this is just insane. Yeah, basically, Fleck has the ability to manipulate quantum entanglement, can teleport, can shrink, can basically do anything. And it's just insane. And just like that, Fleck goes splat! I'm not even gonna lie, he actually looks kind of good in that red polka dot suit. The shoes are ridiculous, and the glasses are a little ridiculous, but other than that, he looks kind of good in that suit, not even gonna lie.
Darn tootin'.
Brother, you look fine.
I must thank you for your help, Mr. Dig. Your honesty has overcome me. I was told in Sweden that the big city people would try to take advantage of my small town ways. But you have taken me to a place of special trust, and I must say I count you as my friend.
I kind of missed the little detail that you could see Otto's entire back in the suit, which is not how suits work. That's not even close. It's like it's like his normal outfit. Now, all things are going smoothly until this happens. Diggs gets evil and gets converted to the Sith, the dark side.
You know, I do stand to make quite a few greenbacks off my Icelandic brother, but I'm not sure I can actually say he looks good in those threads. Of course, with all the money, I could go down to Tito's pawn shop and get my 8-track back. I guess every Dorbee's got to make the right choice sometime. Otto, my man, I can't lie to you. Now, mind you, my store is the bomb. There ain't nowhere in town that can slide with my inventory. But I think a special brother like yourself needs to go next door. See, I think they got exactly what you're looking for.
Oh, Doctor Dick, Doctor! You have helped me so much.
Darn, tootin'.
I have a serious question. Where is Otto from? Because the store implies that he's from Sweden, Diggs literally calls him his Icelandic brother, and Otto utters Danke, which I'm fairly certain is German for thank you, so I don't know where he's from. Maybe he might have triple citizenship in all of those countries. If that's the case, pretty cool. Now, we cut back to Jack and Mary Jane, walking up the dark, spooky hill into the evil, scary-looking house. Aw, darn, I was expecting for the guitar solo from Storm by Wintersun to start playing, but hey, that song came out 26 years after this, and oh, they're so scared, they're so unbelievably scared. Will they go farther? Yes, they will, and are those like flying cobwebs or something? Like, what was that flying in the air? And yeah, this looks to be pretty darn scary. There's a tilted painting. Yikes! Everything's covered in cobwebs. Ooh, yikes! This is so scary. So scary that they turn into balls and roll away. And they don't leave. Maybe they're not smart enough to realize they can leave. Instead, they go down these tunnels looking for doors and all that. Yeah, Mary opens a door straight to hell. Jack opens a door with a pot of gold. And, okay, what is that? This way to Jimmy Hoffa.
What? An astro ball!
Oh, an astro ball.
Also, I have another theory. My third theory in watching this, and it's the theory that Jimmy Hoffa may have turned into an astro ball, and that's why it says this way to Jimmy Hoffa, but at the end of the path, there's just an astro ball there. And also, Jack meets Elvis, who's also voiced by Benji Gaither.
Hey, son, you got any nanners? Hey. Oh, baby, you close that door then. I'm trying to get my eat on.
I'm not gonna lie, that was kind of funny. And let's see. Oh no, it's Fleck! You see? Fleck can teleport. He can go wherever he wants. Nothing is out of bounds for him. He's probably been to every single location on the planet. He's been where no Dorby has gone before. He probably walked on the moon way before Neil Armstrong. And see? He's shrinking! He disappeared! And now Jack and Mary Jane are gonna walk up the stairs instead of taking the perfectly fine elevator and...
Are you okay? Throw up the astro ball.
I can't. I'm stuck. Oh man, Mary Jane, what are we gonna do?
Well, I gotta go get help.
No, whatever you do, don't do that. People will know we did
Sure, he's stuck with the astro ball. No, this is so sad.
I'm thinking.
Well, I'm gonna go get help.
Oh, no, wait, Mary, listen, okay. Hey, okay, go get help, but listen, don't make a big scene. Keep it quiet.
Yeah, so much for don't make a big scene.
Today, 2 young students were caught trespassing in an old abandoned house. We here at Channel 2.3 feel their hurt, feel their pain, and feel their need. We feel their longing to be free. But they did skip school and disobey their parents, so I can't help but feel that somehow that they deserved it. In a related story, Jimmy Hoffa and Elvis were found sharing a peanut butter and nanner sandwich, playing astro ball.
I'm not gonna lie, that sounds like they were just enjoying their time. They were just in the haunted house wanting to get away from taxes, responsibility, and fame, and controversy, and they just wanted to stay in their house just eating peanut butter and banana sandwiches, playing Astro Ball, and just talking with each other about how, in real life, both of them are either dead or missing. And now, Jack gets rescued as he's being T-posed out of the house, and here's Jack's dad, and they're having a very serious and heated conversation about why what Jack did was really stupid and irresponsible.
What?
Tomorrow's a brand new day.
Jack hugs his father, and now we got our final song, which is actually pretty good. I'm fairly certain this song was actually written by the band itself and wasn't written specifically for Dorbees, but if it was, that would actually be pretty cool.
Yeah, I am glad everything worked out for the better for little Jack and Mary Jane, you know. And the last time I heard, Otto was real happy in his new clothes.
Beam me up, Scotty.
Oddly enough, that phrase is an example of the Mandela effect, as it's actually Scotty beam me up instead of beam me up Scotty. But yeah, that's not that big of a problem. Anyway, Fleck defies the laws of physics again by shrinking, and will likely go on to have one of his other famous tangents alongside Delta. And also, yeah, Higgs is doing really good right now. I haven't really called him that, but yeah, bye Higgs. Have a good time.
That Fleck, you crazy. I tell you what, that Fleck. Like I was saying, life is about choices. And a good one, it ain't always easy to make. But if you pray to the good Lord, I mean really pray to the good Lord, He's gonna keep you on the straight and narrow. And He's gonna show you the way.
And so that was Dorbees. It was an interesting thing to say the least, and that was part 7 of Miscellaneous Monthly. And also, they mentioned religion 5 whole times in this thing. 5 whole times. They mentioned the Bible, God, the good Lord, and that's about all I remember really, but all I'm gonna say, Dorbees was actually a pretty fun thing I got to watch, and I enjoyed making this, and I enjoyed talking to you about it, and now we're gonna give some scores to the animation, the music, and last but not least, the entertainment factor. That is what we're gonna do. Anyway, let's go. Starting off with the animation, it's very cheap and low quality, and I'm giving it a 3 out of 10, but hey, it was likely made on a budget, and it was also made by a relatively small team. You saw how quick the credits went by, so yeah, it gets a 3 out of 10. The music is a 6 out of 10. It's not perfect or even super good, but for something with this level of animation, it's phenomenal in comparison, and the music on its own is actually pretty nice, I won't lie. So yeah, 6 out of 10. And last but not least, entertainment factor. This thing gets a 5 out of 10 for entertainment. Don't get me wrong, it's pretty entertaining, but there are times in which it's just not exactly the most entertaining. There are times in which it's just mainly talking and not too much going on. There are also times in which it just feels like it's a bit slow, but other than that, it's still pretty entertaining to me at the very least. So, 5 out of 10. And our final score is 14 out of 30. So, yeah, about 2.5 stars or so. So, yeah, wasn't phenomenal, but this is still much better than some of the stuff I'm planning on watching later for Miscellaneous Monthly. Anyway, that's all.
Funny. Yep. That's a wrap.